Entitled mother interrupts me comforting my toddler after her kids attempt to murder my child. At the park, I actively try not to be a helicopter parent, but my daughter is only 2 years old, and this park is designed for older, giants maybe? And the equipment is all really high off the ground. So I'm hovering. My daughter goes up the stairs to the platform for the slide, so I go to race around to the other end to catch her once she slides down. I notice she is very close to what is basically a sheer cliff drop off to the side, where there's a chain ladder up to the same platform. All of a sudden, a little boy, maybe 3 to 4 years old, turns around and out of nowhere fully shoves her off the platform, about a 5-foot drop, onto wood chips. I scream in terror and everyone freezes. She starts screaming. I immediately pick her up and start evaluating her injuries. People are murmuring, "Oh my god, he pushed her off." The boy is standing at the edge of the platform, staring surprised at the scene. I'm cradling my wailing daughter on the ground. People are calling 911 and giving us space. Some woman rushes up, brushing past me, and grabs the kid and turns to me. "I wasn't watching. What happened? He pushed her? I didn't see." "Yes, I was watching, but I couldn't catch her." "So you're saying he pushed her?" "I wasn't watching him, so I didn't see. I didn't know how to reply to that." I looked dumbfounded. She asks me again. Someone else steps in between her and us and replies on my behalf, since I'm busy experiencing maybe the most frightening moment of my life. "Yes, oh my god, we all saw he pushed her violently off the platform." She keeps asking her kid if he pushed her. Then the lady just grabs her kid and literally speed walks off with him under one arm, kicking and screaming. So this just happened on Tuesday, and I am still in shock, but my daughter is fine. Took her to the doctor, nothing broken, no concussion, just some cuts and bruises. So I'm just processing this. I think this is really crappy behavior. Like, I wasn't accusing her of anything. I didn't call out her or her kid, but she's all up in the way asking about her kid, who's fine, when I'm trying to comfort my daughter and see if she broke anything. Like, I get it. Kids can be jerks. Although, geez, this felt real violent and random. So I wouldn't fault the child or his mum, even though she wasn't watching him. But not asking if my daughter is okay? No attempt at, an expression of sympathy or an apology? Not making her kid apologize? Then setting an awesome example of personal accountability by fleeing the scene of the crime? Like, geez, lady, no wonder your kid is a junior sociopath. I mean, what is personal accountability these days? Just yeet and run away, right? That's just the normal thing to do. That's sarcasm, please don't kill me. Our next story was posted by user The Alaskan Wolf, titled, "I finally encountered an airport entitled parent." Oh, another airport story, here we go. Just a wee bit of background for y'all, and a TLDR at the bottom. So school has just let out for us, and summer break is on its way. I'm traveling with my family to the States for some fun stateside jazz. So our flight is at the ungodly hour of 3 AM, so most people just want to sleep. My family didn't pay to be sat together, so we were spread all throughout the economy class seats. I got lucky with my seat, having it be right at the window. I've got comfy with my small butt pillow and blanket and get ready for a nice sleep. I heard shuffling in the aisle and think nothing of it since people are still getting on the plane, when someone taps my shoulder. "Hey hun, you're in my spot." I open my eyes and look up at the Karen and kid. "Sorry ma'am, but my ticket says 10A. I'm in the right spot. I'll help you find out where you need to go if you want." She scoffs at me but hands her tickets over. I mentally sigh. 10B and 10C. "Well, you don't need to go far. This is your row," I say as I handed them their ticket back. "Then why don't you move if this is our row?" the entitled mother said as she tapped her foot. "Ma'am, there are 3 seats, A, B, and C, easy as 1, 2, 3. I have seat A, and you guys have seats B and C. Please sit down so the passengers can pass you." I keep saying ma'am because calms this thing, seeing I'm giving her some respect, but With a huff, she and her kid shuffled into the seat, and shortly after, we took off. The first 1 to 4 hours passes, and since it's an 11-hour flight, there are movies and jazz. The entitled mother is in the aisle, and the kid is next to me. The kid taps my shoulder and asks if I can open the window so she could look out. I told her I couldn't since I might wake up other people, but I would in an hour or so. She nodded and went back to her movie, and so do I. Maybe 5 minutes go by when the entitled mother reaches across both of us and flips the window sheet open. Very bright light in pitch dark plane. Great power move that one, Karen. I slam it shut while rubbing my eyes. Why? I ask as I adjust to the darkness again. My kid wanted to look out the window and you wouldn't let her. She's a kid, just give her what she wants. I spoke to your kid about it and we agreed I'd open it in an hour since some people are still sleeping. Her response? Well, I don't care about other people. My kid wanted something, so I gave it to her. The kid looked like she wanted to crawl under the seat. I ignore the entitled mother for most of the flight until it comes to the, lunch. She and her kid get their stuff, and when I'm about to ask the flight attendant for lunch, the entitled mother waves them along saying, "My other child isn't hungry." I was confused, but managed to get lunch when they were on their way back, giving the entitled mother a, "Really, lady? What the frick?" face while I ate. As promised, I opened the window for the kid, and all was well. I pulled my laptop out and began to play some games. Undertale, Sims, Plants vs. Zombies, all offline games. Hey, you aren't supposed to have that out. I actually can because it's in airplane mode, I respond. I continue playing until this fish slams my computer closed. I pull my hands out and take a deep inhale. Leave me the heck alone! I snap. Excuse me, who do you think you are talking to me like that? I'm the kid that's not gonna take crap from some adult that I don't know. How dare you curse in front of my child? She didn't really scream, like I've implied, but she did raise her voice. Just leave me alone, I said, as I ignored her 30-minute rant about me, her hands covering the kid's ears as she ranted. The rest of the flight had a heavy tension, but not much was said afterward. Hope that kid doesn't get spoiled and turned into an entitled kid. This was not on the extreme side of entitled parents, but still. Our next story was posted by user Unkyo, titled, "Entitled Mom Thinks She's Entitled to My Homework Because I'm Weaker Than Her Weak Bully Brat." Try saying that 5 times fast. Hello guys, first post here. So first, I'm on PC since I'm on phone. I accidentally closed Reddit by fast, awkward typing now 3 times in a row. Second, yeah, I'm Spanish, so I would appreciate if any failure at my spelling is ignored. Let's get into it. For some context, this happened last year. I'm one of the most talented students of my class. I wasn't the smartest for sure, but always had the patience for making all of the massive piles of homework we get each day. People would often ask me to share photos of it to them, and all of them are my friends, so yeah, why not? Except this one particular dude. He was an idiot, like a real dumbass. He bullied anyone that opposes him, verbally and physically, if no one's around. Well, he's not that scary. Anyone that knows how to give a good goose punch can knock him down, but his parents were monsters based on what I heard from classmates. So nobody wanted to bring it further and kept ignoring him. Well, let's say he was also super lazy, won't study or make any homework, and kept playing Brawl Stars all day. That vicious game. He sadly has a point here. You can check in my profile, I'm very active in the subreddit of this game. And, well, the year is about to end and he highly depends on the last tests so he can pass the year. Now the real problem. It's a normal Monday, and just 1 day for the exams to start. I'm not scared. I might not get a perfect A+, but I was 101% sure I was going to pass every exam since I studied the whole month. Enter Entitled Bully, which we're going to call EB. Hey, OB, stop right there. Me, knowing he was going to make a stupid scene again. Yeah, EB, what now? We all know that you'd make all the homeworks and keep your folders complete. So? You better hurry up and give me what you wrote the last 3 months, since I have to pass these exams. Aw, frick off, EB. You're a lazy ass and you never pay attention in class. It's your problem, not mine. While I'm walking away, he grabs my shirt. Listen here, kid. I don't see you outside with those sheets of work in your hands ready to be given to me. I'm gonna beat you so hard. Fine, jeez, calm down. The entitled brat introduced the I won, I'm so proud of myself face and left. I managed to avoid him between the crowd of parents taking a route I never took and didn't see his face. Victory! Or so I thought. When I arrived home, it took 10 minutes to the door to start banging super loud. Since my parents were shopping in the mini market nearby, I'm the one that answers to the hell happening behind the door. I go to say hello, but I'm cut off. Enter entitled mother, which I'm gonna call EM from now on. May I see OP? I'm ignoring how she knows where I live. I am OP. How may I? You owe me something, little kiddo. Huh? What? Who the frick are you even? Yeah, I ignored the entitled brat so badly, I never saw his mum. I am entitled brat's mother. Ah, that dumbass. What do you want for... Is this from the homework? Indeed. My angel told me you didn't give him his homework as he demanded. Angel? What the... I don't know my homework. Now frick off. As I try to slam the door, she stops me. Oh no, not this time. You owe him your homework, so I will demand it one more time. Your folders, now. For the last time, I want... You know what? Frick it. She proceeds to push me away, grab my school bag, and walk towards the door again. The world stopped in front of my eyes. Since the entitled brat is so weak, I don't know why, but I assumed that his mum wasn't the strongest either. With this in mind, I encouraged myself and tackle her to the ground. I always try to avoid any confrontation, so I quickly let go and pull my bag away. How dare you push an adult? While standing up again, she goes, Your parents have to learn how rude their spawn is right now. I can't take it anymore. My mum will support me, so why not? I grab her hair and drag her outside and say, Well, I hope your brat makes it through the final tests. After slamming the door on her, a series of obnoxious bangs started. Thanks to EB, I could learn how to ignore it. Even if I wanted to shut her down, I didn't. After 5 minutes, the banging stopped. I prepare myself, emotionally, for the tantrum that the entitled brat was going to throw on me. But when I arrived, I got a cheer by my classmates. Turns out the entitled brat gave up on studying and left the school before the final tests. Now yes, victory! Yes, great success. In case anyone wonders, I did pass the exams. Edit. You might notice that the title says she used the "you're weaker" as an argument. Well, after trying to post this on a phone so many times, as it says at the beginning, I forgot to add it. She said something with the lines of, You never attacked him when he bullied you, so you're obviously weaker. He deserves something for proving so. Frick you, entitled mother. And our last story was posted by a user, TopGorilla17, titled, The Race Card. You know how they say that the culprit always returns to the scene of the crime? Well, it was me, in every room with my bare hands. But enough about what I do during my executive time. You didn't come here to read about me rambling on about inconsequential nonsense. You came for a cohesive, short-form narrative, because you're smart. This story takes place back in the olden days of yore, during my time as a glorified carny. It was the first proper job I ever had, at the tender age of 14. Those of you familiar with my tale of the purple fish will remember me having spoken of this job before. For the benefit of those that didn't read that one, and for the purpose of padding out this story, my first job was as a games attendant at a nearby amusement park. Basically, you give me money, I let you play the game. If you win, you could take home an unlicensed, oversized Stewie doll, or perhaps a Nickelback mirror. Ugh. if you're one of those people. As an attendant, the management would keep you on a constant rotation around the park, so I worked pretty much every game there in the 2 summers I was employed there. Now, I've already binged on about this before, so I won't go into excruciating detail, but people be dumb, and had a tendency to not fully understand some of these games, despite the signage telling you the cost and the rules of each. I dealt with this on a daily basis, and it is what taught me that hell is other people. Today's story began on a day much like any other. It was a humid, sticky day, the kind where you can literally feel waves of stink wafting off of your own skin. I felt as though I had dipped my nuts in expired vinegar. Ladies? On this particular day, I had been assigned to the water gun race. You know the one. It's a classic carnival contest. You pay your entry fee, $2, get on a water turret, and compete with other players to win by shooting at a target in an attempt to move these goofy plastic horses across the track. To the victor go the spoils, but to those who don't win? I'm about to yell, so headphone users, you might want to be careful. I'm about to yell. Say it again, I'm gonna yell. Well, to quote the philosopher Wonka, "You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!" Seems simple enough, right? I thought so too. But as I said before, people be dumb. Which brings me to the family the story is about. I was standing there waiting for some guests to come along and play the game, when this waspy nuclear family comes up to the game. The father looks like he aspires to model for tennis product ads, wearing a cream-colored polo, even though it's clearly his day off. His collar popped like some kind of country club vampire. The mother, wearing those giant designer sunglasses that are so popular with the Karens of the world, takes a deep drag from her Virginia Slim, despite the park's no smoking policy. She flicks the ash, which catches in the wind, and blows right back into the drooling face of the sleeping toddler in their stroller. He doesn't react at all. Lastly, there is a little girl, maybe 6 or 7 years old, and looking like she's going to church. She sees the prizes at the game I'm working, which are stuffed ponies, and her eyes light up. "I want to play this one! I want a pony!" The parents, though giving me an unpleasant vibe, usually reserved for when I see commercials for the Gap, asked me politely to clarify the rules, which I explained thusly. You pay $2 per player, there has to be a minimum of 2 players, winner gets a prize, losers don't. Capiche? The parents agree to these terms and slap down a pair of Washingtons on the counter. I look over and see that there's no other players. "I'm sorry, I can't start the game with less than 2 players, I reiterated. "That's okay, we'll wait for someone else to come play," replied the dad. I shrugged. Suit yourself. A few minutes later, several other kids with some youth group came up to play the game as well. I took their money, dispensed change, and explained the rules yet again. But now we had enough players for a race, so I started the game up. This little girl, as it turns out, was no Annie Oakley. As a matter of fact, she probably hit me more than she hit the target, and I was in what was supposed to be the safe zone. The parents didn't even try to help her. Consequently, she did not win the race, and the pony went to another child. The little girl pouted and whined, to which her mother cooed, "Oh, it's okay, honey, you can try again." Dad put down another $2, as did several of the other players. So I reset the game and take 2 began. Sure enough, the little girl loses again, by a significant margin. This happened multiple times, each round ending with some other kid winning the coveted Made in Thailand pony I'm reasonably certain was stuffed with asbestos. Eventually, the youth group, having won all their prizes, took off. I looked at the family, who were all now glaring at me. Mum was ticked. "What gives? How come my daughter didn't win a prize?" Oy vey. "I told you," I explain again. "You have to win a race to win a prize. Those kids all beat her." Dad, also not enthused with the situation, piped up. "Are you kidding me? We just spent $20 here. She's just a little kid. How the heck is she supposed to compete with other kids, especially older ones? Leave your body, TG. Look, I sighed. I don't know what to tell you. It's a racing game. You have to win to get the prize. That's how it works. You could help her aim during the race, and maybe you'll win. Otherwise, one of you could play with her in a one-on-one race. Then you're guaranteed a prize. The mum scoffed. You want us to pay for 2 plays to win 1 prize? That's a rip-off. It's the rules. There has to be at least 2 players, I reminded them. I'm just saying, you could have done that from the beginning and saved a few bucks. No, the dad interrupted. We're not going to pay for 2 players to win 1 prize. The girl began whining again. Daddy, I want 1! The dad shoots me a dirty look and throws another pair of 1s on the counter. I look at the money, then back up at him. So you want to pay for 1 player again? The dad grumbled, irritated and disinterested in what I had to say anymore. Lo and behold, another family came to play the game, and the daughter lost for the 11th time in a row. This was the final straw for these folks. Alright, that's it. This game's rigged, the dad snapped, grabbing his daughter's arm and leading her away. The mum shook her head disapprovingly, as though I had somehow grifted them out of $22 on purpose, before also turning around to walk away. You bitch! The little girl called back out to me as her parents led her away. What? A few minutes later, my supervisor came to me and asked what I'd said to them. What do you mean, I asked, still thrown off by the whole thing. Well, they said you was rigging the game against them because they were white. I stared back at the supervisor for what felt like 3 or 4 minutes. What? Yeah, I didn't think so, my supervisor said, satisfied with my confusion over the accusation. Carry on, TG. Oh, okay, I will, I replied, still reeling from the events which had just transpired. Just then, another extremely Vermont tourism boardy family came walking up to the game, their child squealing with rapturous glee over the stuffed horses. Ooh, I want to play this one. I want a pony. Oh, not again. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. I actually really liked the writer for that last one. That was an amazing writing style, if I'll be real. Tell me what you think of it in the comments, accents, anything else, whatever's relevant. Yeah, how you been? Chuck us a message, and I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.